Running an agency right now feels like trying to fix the engine while barreling down the highway at 80 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour, 130 miles an hour, not 11 miles an hour. You're dodging potholes, which are client demands. You're steering through fog, is market chaos. And you're trying not to lose your team out the back window, all while pretending you're totally in control. To top it off, you're contending with economic instability, political chaos, burned out teams, and clients slashing budgets while asking for twice the output and 10 times the results. You're not just managing a business, you're holding it together with duct tape, bubblegum, caffeine, and sheer force of will. And the old agency playbook, it was not built for this kind of turbulence. The good news, however, is you don't need to pull over. You just need a smarter way to steer the car. You can retrofit this thing mid-freeway. You can evolve, lead, even grow. But it's going to take more than hustle and hope. It requires a complete shift in how you operate, how you position your agency, and how your team delivers value. It means acting like a consulting firm, not a vendor, speaking the language of the C-suite, using data like a compass, building thought leadership that turns heads, and leaning on the PESO model to bring order to chaos. On this week's SpinSucks podcast, I'm going to give you the full playbook, how to lead, how to grow, and how to thrive in a world that refuses to slow down. Welcome back to the SpinSucks podcast. I'm Gini Dietrich. If you're still positioning your agency as a PR firm, it might be time for a little identity crisis. Most executives aren't looking for media coverage. They're looking for someone who can help them solve big, messy, expensive business problems. Someone who gets their pressure to drive revenue, protect the brand, retain customers, and keep shareholders calm, preferably all before lunch. This is where many agencies fall flat. They show up with pitches, news releases, media contacts, and impressions when what the client actually needs is perspective, strategy, insight, leadership. If you want to stay relevant and billable, you need to stop acting like a vendor and start showing up like a partner. One who understands the business levers, not just the brand stories. One who can tie your work directly to revenue, reputation, recruitment, and retention. But what does it actually look like to be a business partner instead of a PR vendor? It's not about buzzwords or adding strategy to your LinkedIn headline. It's about showing up differently in the work, in the room, and in the results. Here are a few ways that you can make that shift real. Number one, know how your client makes money. If you can't explain their business model in 1 minute, you're not ready to advise them. One of the very first things that we do when we onboard clients is we schedule meetings with the sales team, the VP of sales, the executive on the C-suite for the sales team, or whoever it happens to be, whoever's leading the sales team, that's one of the people we talk to first. We need to understand how the business makes money and how they go about selling their wares. Number two, build business literacy across your entire team. Everyone from account managers to media specialists should understand key concepts such as customer acquisition cost, lifetime value, pipeline health, and operational key performance indicators. Shift your reporting from look what we did to look at the business outcomes we've influenced. Connect the dots between activity and actual business outcomes. Number four, ask better questions. Instead of what's the story here, try what's the business risk if we don't solve this? Or how does this initiative help your Q3 priorities? If you missed our recent 3-part series on how to do this, check out spinsucks.com and get super smart about data storytelling. It's all on the blog there. And then number five, change the room you're in. If you're not already meeting with the business leaders, ask for it. If you are, ask to meet with the CFO or the CMO or the CRO or the head of sales. Partners don't wait to be invited. They make themselves essential. You don't need to throw out your media relations chops, but you do, if you want a seat at the table, better show up with more than a coverage report. You need to speak business, solve business, drive business. Days of winning on relationships alone are over. Yes, you know who you know still matters, and what you know and how quickly you can apply it matters more. Data is the new differentiator. Agencies that lead with insights instead of instinct are the ones being invited into strategic conversations. Those who can say, here's what the data is telling us, and here's how it affects your business, are the ones who get bigger budgets, longer contracts, and actual influence. If you're still reporting vanity metrics like advertising equivalencies, impressions, and reach, it's time for a hard reset. Building a smart, insight, data-driven agency doesn't mean you need to become a data scientist, not at all. But it does mean investing in the right tools, asking sharper questions, and training your team to interpret, not just collect. Here's where to start. Modernize your tech stack. Tools powered by AI and machine learning can do the heavy lifting on media monitoring, message, white space analysis. Use them to identify what's gaining traction and what's not before your client even asks. Build your dashboards to speak to the CEO. Forget charts full of percentages and pie slices. Show how your PESO efforts or just your communications efforts affect deal velocity, reduced risk, protected market share, or drove conversions. If your reports can't be shared on the screen in the boardroom, they're not strategic enough. Forecast instead of recap. Predictive analytics isn't just for the Silicon Valley crowd. With the right systems, you can identify emerging risks, anticipate issues before they arise, and pinpoint content or channel opportunities based on patterns, rather than relying on guesswork. Train your team in data storytelling. It's not enough to surface the metrics. Your team needs to know how to turn numbers into stories that influence decision-making. That starts with asking, so what? And now what? As I mentioned earlier, refer to our recent 3-part series on this. It teaches you all about this. And then track outcomes, not just activity. Did your earned media contribute to a spike in branded search or web traffic from a key region? Did your LinkedIn campaign warm up leads for sales? Tie your metrics to actual business movement, not just marketing fluff. When you consistently bring insights that help your clients make better decisions, you become more valuable. Not the report, not the deliverable, you. You're no longer the person they call after something launches. You're the one they bring in before it even hits the whiteboard. You're the one they can't imagine living without when the country is on fire. And that's the agency position you want to be in. If you're waiting for things to settle down before you try something new, you're going to be waiting forever. We're in a permanent state, unfortunately, of disruption. AI is reshaping workflows weekly. Social platforms are burning out or rebranding overnight. Media landscapes are splintering into 1,000 microchannels. If you're not actively experimenting, you're already falling behind. That's why innovation is not a nice to have. It's your insurance policy. It's how you stay relevant, resilient, and revenue generating, especially when the market zigs and you need to zag fast. You don't need a massive innovation lab or a 12-month roadmap. What you need is a culture that says, let's test it. Let's see what happens. I'm big about this one in my business. We try things on ourselves first, and then we launch them to a client or two who are also into experimenting. Once we get it right, we take it to the rest of our clients. We did that with blogging and then social media, then passive income, and now AI. It works. There are 2 things you can start to get yourself into the experimentation mindset. Number 1, run micropilots. And number 2, set time-bound experiments. So for micropilots, you want to try new content formats, influencer partnerships, or campaign hooks on one client or one channel, or even do it on your own business. Keep the risk low and the learnings high. And then for time-bound experiments, give yourself or your team a couple of weeks to try something new. Things such as creating short-form vertical video or testing a new AI copywriting assistant. Evaluate, tweak, or kill it, and then repeat. If you want your agency to be seen as cutting edge, act like it. A few places to explore. Synthetic media tools for voiceovers, spokesperson content, or scalable video updates. We're currently using AI Gini to explore its potential for broader application among our clients who prefer not to use video or audio. Sorry, not quite there yet. We're still experimenting. I will report back, but that's one of the experiments we're doing right now. Augmented reality media kits or 3D product demos for experiential storytelling. AI-powered media avatars, customized spokespeople who can deliver consistent messaging across channels. Low-code automations that reduce time spent on tedious admin tasks like media list hygiene, coverage tracking, or first drafts of boilerplate content. You don't need to adopt all of it, but you do need to know what's out there and how it might give your clients an edge or even your agency one. Innovation also means evolving your services without becoming a bloated, one-size-fits-all machine. Add offerings that complement your core: media training, executive visibility programs, thought leadership, content strategy, and/or social listening audits. At the same time, avoid the temptation to chase shiny objects. We all do it. If a new service doesn't align with your expertise, your client's needs, or long-term demand, it's not innovation, it's a distraction. You can't experiment if your team is stuck in a hamster wheel of deadlines and client-driven fire drills. So set time aside, literally put it on the calendar for creative research and development. Hold a quarterly failure fair where your team shares what didn't work and what they learned. Reward curiosity, normalize risk-taking, build innovation into your operating system. Because the agencies that succeed tomorrow are the ones that try today. Whew, okay, that's a lot already, right? But if you're starting to feel fired up or maybe just slightly panicked, don't worry. This is exactly the kind of shift that doesn't happen overnight. It just has to start. In just a few minutes, I'll be back to talk you through how to turn your agency into a magnet for new business. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So far, we've covered 3 big shifts every agency owner needs to make, not only to survive, but thrive in all of the chaos we're living out through right now. Act like a business partner, not a PR vendor. Use data as your compass and experiment relentlessly. Now let's talk about how to turn your agency into a magnet for new business. As you well know, doing great work does not automatically lead to great visibility. And I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but if you want to attract better fit clients, grow your influence, and create demand, you have to build your own brand with the same intention you use for your clients. That means turning your agency into a trusted source of insight, not just a vendor of services. I know, shoemaker's children and all of that. And as someone who works on her business in the wee early morning hours of the morning, I totally get it, but it works. It's well worth the time you invest to build your brand and your visibility. The first thing you will do is treat your agency like a media company. You'll start thinking like a publisher, not a promoter. You'll create content that builds trust, showcases your thought process, and keeps your agency top of mind. To do that, you'll first develop a signature point of view. Ask yourself what your agency does better than anyone else. What do you believe about the future of communications? What do you think the industry mostly gets wrong? What do you do over and over again for clients that isn't tactical? Create your take and repeat it often. Then publish consistently on a channel you control, whether that's a blog, a newsletter, a podcast, or your website. Share frameworks, behind-the-scenes thinking, case studies, rants, and learnings. Then you can turn your team expertise into content. Your team is smart. Show it off. Host internal AMA sessions, write up Slack debates as blog posts, or turn client questions into content. And then post on LinkedIn, repurpose into short-form content, pitch your ideas to industry pubs, pitch your own itself as a spokesperson, as a subject matter expert, pick your own agency as the place to go, and speak on podcasts or panels. Don't make people hunt for your brilliance. Thought leadership, however, is not just about publishing. It's about building community. Host client roundtables or invite-only briefings on trends, tools, or regulatory updates. Launch a webinar or workshop series to help your prospects get smarter and realize they want your help. Collaborate with aligned partners, analyst firms, legal experts, tech platforms to co-host sessions that increase your credibility and reach. I have a friend who does a monthly social media workshop. Attendees sit with her her and her team for 4 hours, and they create a month's worth of content. It's incredible. I personally don't think she charges enough for this, but it sells out months in advance. Turning your agency into a known, respected, trusted brand will not happen overnight. But every blog post, every podcast episode, every LinkedIn rant, every research report you publish moves you one step closer to being the agency that clients come looking for instead of the one chasing RFPs. And let me tell you from experience, not having to pitch against other agencies, answer RFPs, or do an expensive dog and pony show is worth every second you will spend at odd hours of the day or doing the weekend building your own brand. When the world is loud, unstable, and full of uncertainty, authority is what cuts through. Now, let's talk about the least sexy but most essential part of agency growth: how you scale without burning out, breaking down, or building yourself into a corner. If the last few years have taught us anything, it's that the chaos is going to keep coming. You don't need to outrun it, you just need to outsystem it. And that means putting proven frameworks, replicable processes, and training programs in place that help your agency deliver consistently great work without reinventing the wheel every single time. If you need help with this, read Built to Sell. It will help you understand how to create those processes that you can charge a premium for every single time. If you're still pricing based on time or deliverables, you're leaving value and margin on the table. Clients don't just want a news release. They want a repeatable way to protect their reputation. They don't just want social posts. They want a strategic system that grows engagement and trust. This is where your certified methodology and proprietary process shines. Use frameworks like the PESO model not only to deliver services, but also to structure conversations, set expectations, and demonstrate value. Productize your thinking by turning your strategy work into phases. Onboarding is a toolkit. Measurement is a model. The way you work differently than anyone else is your framework. When your work becomes a system, it becomes easier to sell, scale, and delegate. If your agency's growth relies on hiring in unicorns, you're doing it completely wrong. The secret to scalable growth is not talent acquisition, it's talent development. Build an internal team learning roadmap. From interns to senior leaders, everyone should know which skills they're developing and how those skills relate to business outcomes. Get your team certified. Programs like the PESO model certification give your agency shared language, sharper thinking, and higher credibility. And train for critical thinking, not just task execution. AI can write a headline. Your team should know whether or not it's the right headline. You don't need me to tell you that running an agency is hard. The rules keep changing. The tools keep evolving. Clients want more with less. Your team wants clarity and flexibility. And somewhere in there, you're trying to grow a business, deliver killer work, and maybe just get a weekend off. But here's the thing. You're not stuck. You're at an inflection point. You have a chance right now to stop reaching and start rebuilding to evolve your agency into the kind of business that doesn't just survive disruption, but uses it as fuel. So let's recap the 5 moves to get you there. Number 1, stop acting like a vendor, start acting like a business partner. Show your clients how you influence revenue, reputation, retention, and recruitment. Number 2, use data to drive strategy, not just reports. Build insight engines that inform decisions, not dashboards that just collect dust. Number 3, experiment constantly. Innovation is not optional. It's how you future-proof your agency. Number 4, make your agency famous. Create thought leadership that earns attention before the pitch even starts. And number 5, systemize everything. Build a business that doesn't rely on heroics. Use frameworks, train your people, scale your brilliance. This is not a quick fix. It's a shift in how you lead, but it's also the difference between staying stuck in survival mode or becoming the agency everyone wishes they were running. Take a deep breath, Pick one area to start with and then lead the heck out of it. If you want to learn more about agency growth, especially while the world is on fire, join us in the SpinSucks community. It's a great place to get advice, brainstorm ideas, and build real relationship with your peers. You can find us at spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. That's spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. And make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. We're posting tips, how-tos, cheat sheets, and more every week. I'll see you next week. The PESO model is a registered trademark of SpinSucks.